Okay. Good. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, yeah. So just give us your name in the comments section. Tell us where you're watching from. And if it's the first time you're watching and you haven't joined our channel yet, please click the subscribe button on YouTube if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, can you click the like and the share button? Share it with a few friends. Thank you. It helps get the word out there. So tonight's satsang, we've titled it The Future. So what is all that about? The future. But let's start out by being present. Shall we do that before we look at future? Hello, is it Maria from Zimbabwe? And
Laura.
we've got from Texas, we've got, who's that?
I can't read properly. Shamina.
Shalina from Texas. Hello from Texas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just start out by doing the most important work of the evening. Not work, but it's the meditation. Settle back in your chairs. Hopefully you've got some cushions to be comfortable. And let's just spend a few moments together withdrawing our mind from the past and from the future. Just settle back, closing our eyes. And we just connect inwardly with the physical body. And the reason we do this is because the physical body is always in the present moment. So what we do by becoming aware of the physical body is we are becoming aligned with reality, becoming aligned with life. And so one of the ways that we do that is by focusing our attention and our awareness on the breath of life. The breath of life is only ever here and now. So let's just start this evening by taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Just releasing all other times and all other places, and just be here in your body, right here now. Take another deep breath in, right down to the toes this time, and then that beautiful long surrendering breath out. And as you breathe out, just release any stress, any tension in your body. Just let it go. Let it slide off your shoulders. Let your worry lines smooth out from your forehead. And just become connected with your physical body. Become aware of where your hands are right now. Where are your hands resting right now? It's such an incredible gift to have hands. Just become aware of your hands. Become aware of the chair or the floor of the bed that you're sitting or lying on. Become aware of that. And just say thank you to that for supporting your body in this moment. Becoming aware of the physical world around us is a portal into presence. It's not presence itself, but it is definitely a portal into presence. So let's take another very deep breath in now. And as we breathe in, we blow our tummy out. So we're breathing from the lower diaphragm. We're breathing in from the lower tummy, and as we breathe out, so we squeeze our belly button back towards the spine, releasing all the air. Take another deep breath in, and this time as we breathe in, let's take the air right down to our toes and up to the top of the head. And as we breathe out, so we relax our shoulders and our neck muscles, and we just release. We work on surrendering in this moment, just to this moment, just to the essence, the isness of life in this moment, here and now. So that's the breath, which we can use at any time to become more present, more alive, more aware. Let's use another portal now, and this is the portal of hearing, listening. So you can hear my voice right now. But let's become aware of any other background noises that we can hear, any sounds that we can hear right now. We can hear the whir of the computer. What can you hear? We don't have our friendly cricket in the room tonight, do we? That's quiet. And just notice how quiet you had to become in order to truly listen. And then you realize that to truly listen, the thinking mind has to quieten down. The thinking mind doesn't listen. the thinking mind just talks. But to truly listen, we have to become the stillness that underlies the talking mind. And it's this stillness, this space, which once more is a portal into presence. So maintaining your awareness of your breath, the in and the out breath, and being alert to all that you can hear in this moment. Just become aware of your feet, where they're resting in this moment. And bring your awareness to your big toe on your right foot. Just becoming aware of the toenail on the big toe on your right foot. Is there any tension under your toenail? See if you can feel any sensations there. Keeping your awareness on the breath and on the listening, and now including your big toe on your right foot. Now notice what is aware of all of those, the breathing, the listening, and your big toe. There is a stillness within you, a being that is aware. It's awareness itself. And I'm going to call this awareness life. Life. Not so much the personality or the ego, but life is doing the listening, is doing the breathing, and is doing the awareness. So we become more aligned with life. We become one with life in this moment. Take another very deep breath in. Very, very deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just sink deeper into alignment with life. This alignment with life helps the body heal. Helps dissolve unconscious thought patterns that no longer serve us. This alignment with life opens our hearts and allows us to love more directly the life, the isness of this present moment, here and now. And as we open, we become a portal for this life, for this love, to flow through us into the world around us, bringing healing through us into the world around us. We become a portal for transformation on this beautiful planet, transformation of human consciousness, from unconsciousness, from the perception of separation, to consciousness, the perception of oneness. This is the shift. This is the awakening. This is the journey to liberation. To be here now, in this moment, aligned with life, in the body, accepting and appreciating the uniqueness of just this moment here and now, the gift of life. Take another very deep breath in. And a long breath out. And keeping this awareness of presence, gently open your eyes. And see how you feel in this moment. How do you feel? A bit more centered? A bit more alive, hopefully? Thank you. So tonight we're going to be talking about the future. But before that, any astrological update for us?
To be honest, I haven't actually looked.
Oh.
It's Sunday.
Okay.
So nothing pressing.
Okay.
Not too much of the same.
Mars isn't about to bump
No, I
into
don't think
Pluto
so. Not
or...
today.
No, okay. That's good news. We're going to survive. So
But
the future...
on that subject though,
Yeah.
that's what everybody wants to know.
What?
The
The
future.
future. What's going to happen? What's
That's
going
why
to
people
happen?
come to astrologers.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
Yeah.
they want to know what the future holds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. So the future, and that's probably a subject that many people want to know about the future. So the future has two components. It's about what's going to happen ahead of us on the human journey. And the other one is, well, what is the future? The future as a concept. So that's what we want to talk about tonight in brief. So for most of us, we're having a human experience. And the human experience, for those of you who've done a bit of work with us, will know that I draw it on a horizontal line, on a line going from the moment you're born till the moment you shuttle off this particular meat suit that you're wearing. And that's the human experience. And the human experience has time. That's what it's all about. It's about time. But there is a intersection with a transcendent dimension, which is drawn as the vertical. So you have this cross of the horizontal plane and the vertical plane. And this intersection with the vertical plane is when the human meets being. And most of the challenges and the problems and the stresses and the worries and the anxieties and the fears that we have are because we are only aware of time and we have lost the recognition of being. Now, the future as a concept appears in the mind now, here and now, in this moment. The mind has a concept of the future. And the future is quite often not being used as a practical tool for strategizing or working something out that needs to be worked out, but as a place of possible salvation or hope or fulfillment that's going to make us happy, going to make us at peace. And that as a concept robs us of the very essence of life, because life is only ever in the vertical plane. It's always here, always now. Life can't be in the past and can't be in the future. Life is always here. So the concept of future robs us of joy, peace, etc. And this sort of idea, this thought came to me this morning in meditation, that if we were to remove the concept of future from our awareness in the here and now, it would liberate us to experience more joy, more life, more peace in our lives right now. So just consider that for a moment. Consider, in this moment, removing the concept of future from your awareness here and now. Where would your worries be? Where would your fears be? Where would your anxieties be?
Yep.
You might like to type up some comments
tell
in the comments box.
Imagine if there was no future to worry about. How much energy would you have to put into your daily life, into your dreams, into your hobbies, into your passions? How much energy do we put into concerns about the future? It'd be interesting to ask this group, like, what percentage would you say of your day, of your time, of your waking hours is made up of thoughts or concerns or actions related to future?
I'm going to guess an awful lot, but let's just type them up in the comment box. It would be very interesting.
I'm very interested to know how much.
And
because it's human, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal to live like that.
If you think about it, right from a child, we've been programmed to focus on future. That the meaning of life is future. From day one.
When you do this, then you'll get that, and when you get to standard 1, then that'll happen, and when you get to standard 5, that'll happen, and then you'll have this, and then you'll have that, and then you must do this because then when you get older, you'll actually be taken care of. So we're programmed from a very early age to focus almost entirely on the future. And sometimes we even are reprimanded for not doing that. Like as kids, sort of getting into trouble for daydreaming, or for just being not, just being, not doing something.
Yeah, for being. We as children, we were very really rewarded for our natural state, which as a child is being, and we were programmed to value time, particularly future. Now, as I said, the one aspect of future is this concept that we have. The other one is on the human journey. Yes, there is a future that maybe needs to have some constructive thinking about, maybe some constructive planning about. But unfortunately, most of our preoccupation with future, probably 98% of our preoccupation with future, is useless thinking. Useless thinking. So we have useful thinking when we need to sit down and actually plan a plane trip or plan a meal or something like that. And there's useless thinking. Now, useless thinking leads to the stresses, the concerns, the worry, the fears, and the anxiety. And this can be released from our awareness by shifting the value that we place on the concept of future and presence itself. As we start to value presence more highly than the concept of future, so we will spend more time in presence.
But we do seem to value the future, and we actually tend to maybe even believe that the more we think about it, the more it's going to change the future. So the more we worry about it, the more we cogitate about the future. Like Jackie's saying, she was a bit anxious about work tomorrow. For some reason, we have this mistaken belief that if we're anxious about it, it's going to make it better. And it doesn't. I mean, I don't know if in your experience if it has, but definitely hasn't in mine. Yeah. So I think the other little element that I wanted to just bring in is, why do we want to know what the future holds? Because we do. I know that because I see people every day. And generally, because I'm an astrologer, they say, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And when I'm able to say to them, well, this transit that you're experiencing is going to probably tail off in 3 months' time, there's a sense of relief that at least they know now what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen, but they have some kind of an end to a tunnel. Most people will say, well, when's it going to end? I'll say, yeah, but you're going through a transition and you're learning and you're growing and you're evolving. And I'll say, but when's it going to end? So there it is. You're missing the lesson, you're missing the process because you're too fixated on when it's going to end. And that's usually the way we live our lives. We're so focused on tomorrow or the next day or the next week or when we're 65 or when we're 85 that we're actually missing this moment. So just give a moment to, what if you honestly did not have to worry about the future? What if somebody had to say to you, there's nothing to worry about? Absolutely 100% categorically, there's nothing to worry about because you're going to be fine. And tell you how it's going to play out. That this is the reason why you're going to be fine. Would you then still worry about the future? It's often worrying about the future because we're not sure if we're going to be able to cope with what the future dishes out. And we want somebody else to give us a magic pill that tells us what the future is going to be and that we're actually going to be able to manage the future. And most of the time, the things that we worry about, if you really look at your life, you'll find that most of the things you worry about don't actually happen. It's things that we didn't see coming that life's about. Generally, the things we worry about very often don't actually happen.
Yeah. And just a comment there from Dennis. I remember you suggesting that I will know what to do, say, etc., when the future arrives. Now, that's an interesting comment to say, because there's a fundamental error in that. There's a truth, but there's also an error, Dennis. And that is that the future never arrives as an experience. Mm-mm. You can not, and nor will you ever, experience the future. That is like quite a shift. Because when the future, the so-called imagined future arrives, it's not the future. It's presence. Right now, we're living in yesterday's future. Right now, you are living in a previous time's future. And you always have been. But we don't experience it as future. We experience it as now. There's nothing you will ever directly experience other than presence. The problem is we have the innate ability, the unique ability as humans to leave reality, to leave the direct experience of life and go into some imagined dimension of time. And in that space, our needs are not being met. Because your needs are only ever met in the present moment. Life is only ever in the present moment. The divine is only ever here in the present moment. Your beingness is only ever here in the present moment. So we go into an imagined space of our own construction. And in there's a lot of holes. There's a lot of unanswered questions. And that's where the fear and the anxiety comes from. Because fear, as you know, is the acronym they always say is false evidence of being real. So we've just left reality and we've gone to a falseness. And in that falseness, we experience fear. That's where fear comes from. So Dennis, in saying that, you'll always know what to do in the future when the future arrives. Well, the future never arrives. But one thing I do want to say, that you always, in the present moment, have everything you need. Always. Everything you need is always here in the present moment. Your needs are always met in the present moment. And you can always deal, this is the big one, with whatever's happening in the present moment.
That's the big.
Even if it is your transition, even if you are dying in this moment, you'll cope with it perfectly. No one's ever died unsuccessfully. Everyone dies successfully. Everyone makes it in the end. And so there is nothing that you cannot deal with successfully in the present moment. But there's everything that you can't deal with in this projected, the concept of future. You can't deal with it because it's not here. It's not reality. There are so many permutations that could happen that we can't exactly know how we need to react to it. We can plan maybe 10, 20 scenarios, but there are countless scenarios that could unfold. But when you start to know that in the present moment, you're always able to deal with whatever arises in that moment. When you start to live your life like that, there is a sense of divine guidance in the present moment. Yes, there is, but there is always the knowledge that yes, you can. Yes, you can deal with the present moment. And when you know that, fear and anxiety dissipate. Mm. Because when you know for certainty that you can deal with something, fear and anxiety dissipate and disappear.
Because it's always the fear that we're not going to be able to deal with it that creates the anxiety and the stress. And we've just got to ask ourselves, does the anxiety and worrying about X, Y, Z, whether you're worrying about a child, one of your children, or whether you're worrying about a spouse or yourself or your own health or whatever, has it ever helped anything? Whereas when you're actually faced with a situation and you've got full consciousness, you're then able to deal with whatever it is. It was quite interesting for me because I was in the event and the film industry for a long time. And as a producer, we had to be concerned about the future, about is this shoot going to happen, or is this event going to happen? And you would have these beautiful schedules and spreadsheets and call sheets and you name it, to make sure as much as possible that everything went according to the plan. And you would have plan A, that's number one, that's if everything goes according to plan. Plan B, if plan A fails, then we go to plan B, and plan C if plan B fails as well. And most of the time, and I did it for a very long time, none of those happened. Not plan A, not plan B, not plan C. Plan D came zinging in from the side, and we were in the situation where you had to deal with it in the moment with absolutely no preparation whatsoever. It was not something that you could have foreseen coming at all. And every time you just dealt with it, and miraculously it seemed to actually work because everybody just dealt with it in the moment, no planning. So you got to just ask yourself how much the very particular planning and the very particular wanting to know the future actually assists us
you?
And helps. Does it help? Does it help you, Keridwin, to be worrying about your son?
Does it help them?
Does it help him, or does it help you, or what does it actually do? You putting your energy into that situation in a worried state, and we all worry. It's part of the human condition. It's almost approved of you. It's like you must worry. You should be worried. It's your son. Of course you must be worried. So we kind of, what's the word I want? It's approved of. It's yes, I expect you must be worrying because you're a father. You should worry about your son.
Yeah, it's seen as something good to worry.
It's seen as something good.
To worry. And you said everyone worries.
Most people worry.
I gave up that quite some time ago. I seriously, honestly do not worry, because how can you worry?
Most people
when
worry.
you know in your life that in the present moment, you've always coped with every present moment. No matter how difficult it was, you've coped with it. And then you recognize that all your worrying in the world never solved anything. And then you start to see the superfluousness of those thoughts, the superfluousness of worry, the uselessness of those thoughts. As I said, they're useful thoughts about the future in a practical way, which probably you need for like 1 or 2 or 3% of a day. But the other 98% of your day when you spend projecting into the future are useless. They're absolutely useless. What it does, it gives the mind something to do, because that's what the mind does. And if you think you are your mind, well, then you're totally occupied with that. But the other thing it does is it actually solidifies a sense of self. So, for example, I'm a responsible person and a responsible parent, and therefore worrying gives me an identity. Well, who would you be if you didn't worry? You'd probably be a better parent. You really would. You'd probably be a better person. You'd probably enjoy life more. You'd probably open up to intuitive wisdom. You'd probably make better decisions if you weren't worrying. So
you'd be able to be sending energy out from a very open, beautiful, relaxed state, as opposed to a very tight, resistant, worried state.
Yeah, that's right.
And we often talk about we frequency holders. That's what we are. So whatever frequency we're in, if we're in a frequency of worry and anxiety, that's what we're rippling out to whoever and whatever we're worried about.
Yeah.
We just need to know that. That's quantum. That's what we are.
Yeah.
So whatever state that we're in, we just need to be aware of, okay, this is the energy that I'm feeding into the field of energy. So wherever I am at the moment, whatever state I'm in, if I'm in a state of joy, that's rippling out. If I'm in a state of anxiety, that's rippling out. If I'm in a state of panic, that's rippling out. So it's to be aware of it. And it's to acknowledge it, because you can bring yourself back out of the fear and out of the concern when you become aware of it. I've just gone into worry about this. And is it necessary? Is it helpful? Not really. Okay, what's more helpful? Bringing myself back into this moment right now. How can I elevate this moment right now?
Yeah. And you mentioned something just now which is so powerful to recognize, and that is that when you enter presence, when you align your awareness with presence, because when I say enter, you enter with your awareness because you're already in presence. I mean, you cannot not be, but we have the ability, as I said earlier, to project our mind away from it. When you bring your attention back to it, you open up a portal for the miraculous. So we can live our lives trying to strategize and worry, or we can live in alignment with the miraculous, and miracles happen, and grace flows into our lives, and things just unfold, and it's called to be in flow. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that from time to time, to be in flow, and things just happen. You meet the right people, doors open, it's just wonderful. That is when there's more presence in you than future. So that is a positive benefit, if you want to call it, of being here now. To be in alignment with the miraculous. And then something else you said earlier I wanted to comment on was, people come to you as an astrologer wanting to know all about the future. And most people really think that if they knew everything about the future, then worry and anxiety would dissipate. But is that true? If you knew that one day you were really going to die, I mean, would that alleviate all your fears? I say no. Not at all. In fact, you probably worry more. But when you're in presence and you know that there's nothing you can't deal with in the present moment, even when you make your transition, I'll say from this body into a lighter body, when you know that you're going to cope with everything, because you have always coped with everything in the past,
exactly.
That worry, that fear, that anxiety goes. You don't then need to know about the future. But let's go back to that scenario. If you knew everything that was going to happen to you in life, everything, what would the point of living here be? What would the point of this human experience be? You'd be as bored as anything if you knew absolutely. What gives the spice of life, what makes things exciting, is the unexpected. I mean, that's what a good book gives you. That's what a good thriller gives you. A movie gives you the unexpected. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen. And that's the richness of life. So by knowing everything that was ever going to happen to you in life, which is what the mind thinks it wants, it would rob you of that depth of experience, which is what life is all about.
I mean, you only have to watch a series on a channel to know that the people that make them know this.
Yeah,
they leave at the end of each episode, you get left on a cliffhanger. Why? Because you want to watch the next one, because it's left you with a question mark. What's going to happen? And that's what keeps us going. It keeps us tied in to the matrix, to the what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. So it's to accept that we don't know what's going to happen, and that, as John said, is part of the mystery and part of the experience of life. Yeah. It would be very, very boring if someone had to say, okay, well, this is exactly what your life plan is going to look like, and this is what's going to happen, and then at this moment, on this day, you're going to die in this particular way. What's the point?
There isn't any point. And yet the mind thinks that is what it wants.
We want to know the future.
Because the mind hates two things. It hates unpredictability and hates predictability.
The thing is, what the mind, yeah, exactly. But what the mind actually wants to know is everything going to be okay? And I get that asked often. Is everything going to be okay? Am I going to be able to deal with it? Is it all going to turn out okay in the end? So if you were to be able to say to yourself, yes, it is going to turn out okay in the end.
It's already okay.
Because it's already okay and every moment's okay. Yeah. Then you've got nothing to worry about. And that no amount of worrying is going to actually change anything. It could make it worse. It's certainly going to make you be in more suffering.
Yeah. So if you would like to experience more joy in your life, if you would like to experience more peace in your life, if you would like to experience more love in your life, drop the useless concept of the future as a place to find anything of value. Make this present moment your destination. Make this your destination. Make the person you're with now your destination. Give them your full attention. Give whatever you're doing in this moment your full attention. If you're planning in this moment, give that your full attention. Here, now, not the future when the plans work out, but here in this moment, whatever you're doing in the present moment and whoever you're with in the present moment, make this your destination and watch the quality of your life change. Watch stress, anxiety diminish, and watch the effectiveness of your experience and your doingness in the world radically improve. Your light of awareness, your light of presence will ripple out and change the lives of everyone that you meet as you drop the concept of the future. It's so simple. It really is simple. Be here now. Be here now. The opposite of be here now is be over there then. And yet when you're over there, it's not the then anymore, it's now the present. And it's not there anymore, it's here now. So in truth, the only place that you can ever be is here and now.
Yep.
It's the only thing you've ever experienced, is the here and the now, other than the movies that you run in your head.
And it is a movie in your head.
And if those movies make you unhappy and make you anxious and make you fearful, don't run those movies. Why run those movies? They're not helping you or the world around you in any way at all. All you're doing is you're adding to the collective darkness of humanity by running those movies.
And I think that when we're running those movies and we're in the state of fear about the future, we're actually resisting life. We're actually cutting ourselves off actually from the experience of life because we're missing it. We're literally missing it. We're missing this moment. We're missing the moment with this person, which you may never have, you will never have that moment again. Not may, you will never have that moment again with that person. You have maybe other moments if you're lucky, but you might never have that. You'll never have that one.
A direct experience.
So it's, this moment, this meal, this walk on the beach, this conversation, this flower that I'm looking at, this sunset that I'm seeing, this cup of tea that I'm sipping. What if that's your last one? Could be.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So if we went out on that last cup of tea that we were thoroughly enjoying, it doesn't matter if it's your last cup of tea. It doesn't matter if this conversation that you're having with someone is your last conversation with that person, if it's a quality conversation. If it's a quality in interaction, it doesn't matter. You'll go out feeling fulfilled, full, happy.
When you make this present moment your destination, you're able to live it fully, completely, with an open heart, full attention, full awareness. Useless thinking plays no part in your life anymore. And that's a fulfilled, meaningful life, when you live your life that way, rather than in the concept of future, which doesn't bring you anything of any value anyway, so why do it?
And then you're using your mind for good use. You're saying, yes, I need to plan this meeting that I have to do. I have to be there at such and such a time. I have to do that after that and that after that. You're using your mind for that, for those purposes. I need to book a flight. I need to book a car. I need to be there by such and such a time. But the rest of it, you're not actually letting your mind run the show. Because that is what it is. It's the mind running the show. It's the imagination of what will happen to this person if this happens. And then we've got wild imaginations, so that those imaginations can bring some joy if we imagine beauty, but usually we're not. We're usually imagining difficult, challenging possibilities very often. What if this happens? What if it doesn't?
And what you said just now was that, when you use your mind, that's one thing, but when the mind uses you, that's the other one. And the concept of future is the mind's excuse to run your life, to completely co-opt your attention into a made-up reality that has no connection to life in this moment. It's just a made-up scenario in your head. And that robs us of the gift of this moment, the gift of life. And that's when the mind is using us. And as we've said before, the mind makes a wonderful servant, but a tyrannical master. When it's running your life, you're not in control anymore. And you're not conscious enough to make any good decisions. You can't really plan properly if your mind is using you. Only you can plan. Your mind, you can use your mind as a tool in the planning process, but you have to do the planning, not your mind. There's a big difference. Big difference. So if hopefully we've motivated you to spend more time in life, in reality, and in the trust and the beauty of what life has to offer here and now, and to drop this idea of the future is more important than the presence. The opposite is true. The presence is way more valuable than any concept the mind can dream up. Because life is here and now, and life is real, and life is divine, and you're special, and you're always guided and protected in reality, in this moment, in just this moment here and now. not the future that you're dreaming up.
And the
but
only
here and
thing
now.
you need to cope with ever is this moment.
Yeah,
As John said earlier, you can't cope with the future because the future's not here, it's not real.
yeah,
So the only moment that we ever have is this one. And the only thing we need to cope with is this moment, right now. That's it. So even if you're in a struggling moment, this moment, if you're in it fully, it's actually, the struggle starts to actually go. It's the thoughts about it that actually create the suffering of this moment. That it shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't be in this situation. I shouldn't be in this pain, or whatever it is. If you just say, this is what's happening, and I am here, and I'm dealing with it, the angst and the suffering actually starts to dissipate.
yeah. Because suffering cannot exist in presence. Suffering exists in time. So think about that. Suffering exists in time. Fear exists in time. Anxiety exists in time. Depression exists in time. Joy, enthusiasm, peace, love exists in presence. And it's a choice. We've never been told this before, but it's a choice that we get to make moment to moment to moment. Which world we want to live in. The made-up world of the mind, or the world of life, which is here and now.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, you're going to lead us out with a centering meditation.
Yes.
Thank you all for being with us tonight.
Yeah, lovely to
Thank
have you all with us.
Thank you, and thank you for your comments.
We'll read them just now. It's very small on the screen. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to lead you out. Just make yourself comfy if you're not already comfy. And take a deep, beautiful belly breath in. So as you breathe in, allow your belly to expand. And then bring the air all the way up, up, into your lungs. Hold it for a second. And then release the breath through the mouth on the out breath. And take another deep, beautiful breath in. And then let the breath out. And as you let the breath out, release your shoulders. And just allow your body to soften in this moment. And now just see if you can just drift into, or sink into this present moment. Imagine that you're going underneath the surface of the mind, underneath the busyness of the mind. That you're just dropping into this beautiful, peaceful place that is beneath the noise, beneath the drama, the anxiety, the worry, the resentment, the regret. Imagine that you could just very lightly drop into a place that's beneath all of that. This very quiet, quiet place. This moment when you can feel your breath moving in and out. Full focus on that breath as it moves in through the nose and moves out through the mouth. Being consciously aware of what you can hear in this moment. Full focus on what you're hearing. And if you notice your mind starting to attach any stories to what you're hearing, just gently bring it back to simply what you're hearing through your ears. Bringing focus to what you can see. If your eyes are open, what you can see through your eyes. If your eyes are closed, what you can see behind your eyes. So focusing on your eyeballs. Again, no stories about it, just noticing. Noticing what you can smell and taste in this moment. And noticing what you can feel in your body. So feeling the chair beneath you or the bed, wherever you are. Feeling your body touching the surfaces that it's touching. Becoming aware of the temperature on your skin. Feel of clothes on your body. And being aware of any sensations in your body. There might be a little tightness or a little tweak or even pain. Just see if you can just gently breathe into that area of your body and just release it. Just soften that particular area. This practice is bringing you into full awareness of this moment. Years ago it was called the supreme practice of the wise. Just running through the 5 senses will bring you back into the moment. If your mind starts to wander, you bring it back to your breath. The breath is always right here. Just allow yourself to soften even more. Allowing the mind to retreat. Allowing yourself to drop into this precious, sacred moment that will never be repeated. This is it. This, right here, is the most important moment of your life. And it requires no effort. All we need to do is open to it and surrender to it. And it's in this place that the miracles happen. I pulled 2 cards and they've both got to do with miracles. The first one is I believe in miracles. And the other one is I'm grateful for all the miracles in my life. So I am grateful right now for all the miracles in my life. Just feel how that feels. I am grateful for all the miracles in my life. Allow yourself to feel into those words and expand. You can feel your energy expanding with gratitude. And there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude will always bring us back to this present moment. I'm grateful for this chair that I'm sitting on. I'm grateful for the ears that I have to listen, the eyes that I have to see, the hands that I have to touch. I'm grateful that I can breathe, grateful that I can be on this call with this beautiful community of people. Feel your heart expanding as you bring into awareness the things that you're grateful for. Knowing that in this state of gratitude, in this present place, this is the place of infinite potential and possibility. And this is the portal through which grace enters and miracles are created. where there is no resistance. There is no striving, there is no pushing, there is no worrying. You're just open. You're an open channel. So breathing into your heart, allowing your heart to, as if it could expand into a beautiful flower, multi-petaled flower that just continues to bloom and open. Let that blooming flower, the energy of that flower, bloom right out through your energy body into the field. This beautiful energy of gratitude and open-hearted love. Now taking a deep, beautiful breath in and out. And when you're ready, you can start to gently open your eyes.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Isn't that lovely? Hey? I believe in miracles. And I'm grateful for all the miracles in my life. So, yeah,
it's a miracle night.
We'll put those up. Yeah, thank you. Really beautiful. And just talking about future, is next Sunday there won't be a satsang because we'll be traveling. So we look forward to catching up with you in the future, 2 weeks' time. We'll be experiencing it in the present moment, this exact present moment. Beautiful. Thank you, folks. Love you all. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Everyone.
God bless.
Lots of love.
Thank you.